Today we're going to look at different ways to prepare for our exams. So we're going to look at what skills actually this develops for us that's going to help us in later life. So I know a lot of people will ask, why am I doing revision? Why do I need to plan for it? So all these skills you're going to learn are in addition to actually being able to revise for your exam. So if we have a look, we're going to look at some solving problems. We're going to be able to help us manage ourselves, and also it's going to help us with the really useful skill of gathering information and being able to use it effectively. So the questions that we're going to ask ourselves if we're looking at solving problems is, how do we plan our revision? Where do I start? What subjects do I do first? How many subjects do I do a night? Imagine yourself, so this is all about time, about you sticking to your program, and then you're going to look at what information you have. So you're going to have lots of information in front of you, and you've got to plot that in a way that helps you with your revision. So we're going to have a quick look at BiteSize. This is just to give you a quick idea of what's available on the website, but also some great insight into what you need to think about when you're planning for your revision.
It's important to have a realistic revision planner because you need to follow it. Saying you want to revise for maths for 2 hours is not realistic, and you know that.
Most people tell you how they use their revision planner, and I guarantee that they'll all use it differently.
I planned at the start of the week roughly where I wanted to be, and then every day or in the evening before, then I would plan what I wanted to achieve the next day.
The 20 minutes on and 10 minutes off typing, it really helped me to focus.
I would start with the hardest subject first when revising because that requires more brain power, more concentration.
So with my friends have it so that they have specific tasks, like they make flashcards on this subject, they do a mind map on this topic.
It was flexible, but it made me do the subjects every night, and it also was unbiased, so I couldn't revise loads and loads of one subject as avoid on the other subjects. You have to plan other things into it to make your life enjoyable, because otherwise you'll just crash and burn out.
It gives you a sense of discipline. So if you actually stick to it, you will see results. There's no without that.
So based on the video that we've seen then, we're going to look at how to get ready to plan the revision. How do you get it right? So you're going to be realistic. That's what it said on the video. Too much, it'll all become too much for you and you'll burn out. So you need to plan carefully and do it in small sections. Study hard. It's the hardest subjects first. All right, make sure they're the first things you revise, because you won't want to do those later on. You'll put them off, or you won't do them at all. I've put on here 15 minutes. So if you're at Key Stage 3, I want you to think about just doing 15 minutes of work and then 10 minutes of rest and then 15 more minutes. So at Key Stage 3, you're going to be doing about 30 minutes for one subject. Actually, at Key Stage 4, if you remember from the video, you need to be looking at a little bit longer. You can retain a little bit more information. So you're going to be looking at 20 minutes work followed by 10 minutes rest. Plan your time effectively. Don't spend it doing one subject, particularly one that you like. Share it. If you share it with friends and family, you are going to stick to it because people are going to help you do that. And more importantly, don't think about what anyone else is revising. Think about what you want to do. Everyone is different. Everyone's plan should be just for them. So here's a monthly one. So if you're in years 7 or 8, you might want to do something a little bit like this. So on a Monday, okay, you're going to do history and maths. And then on a Tuesday, English and French. Wednesday, geography and French. But you could plan for the whole month. In year 10 and 11, 9, 10 and 11, we need to be looking at something perhaps a little bit more comprehensive. So we're still looking at 2 subjects a night, as we would in 7 and 8. But now we're looking at actually planning our weekly planner, so day by day. So if you have a look at our planner, you'll see that we've included everything in there. We've got scheduled time slots for everything. And we're also looking at when we're eating, when we're at school, when we want social media time. Have you got any after school clubs that you would like to fit in? Because putting things you enjoy can't just be about revision, particularly when we get to year 11, we need to have things to occupy our mind, to take our minds off it and to put us in a really good mindset. So when we do revise, it's effective and we're actually going to retain that information. So when you're doing your revision plan, you can use the exact same times as these if you want, but you might not get home till 4:30. So your revision plan may start slightly different. So this is what we're going to look at next. So how to plan your revision. So these are tips that everyone can take. So use a timetable. Make sure you can have a template if you want to. List the subjects in order of exam. Okay, you have most 7 and 8 I've put on here have 13. This will vary when we get to 9, 10, and 11, depending on the option subjects you have chosen. So decide the time of day. Don't be revising after 9 o'clock at night. It's too late. You're too tired. It's not going to be effective. At least 2 subjects a night. That's what we need to think about. 7 and 8, we're only going to look at 2 subjects a night. If we're in 9, 10, or 11, we might want to vary that. On the odd occasion, we might want to do 3 subjects a night, particularly if it's the night or the weeks leading up to our main exams. Create a revision base. It's dead important. Have somewhere quiet, set up, ready to learn. So you've got everything you need there for you. You've got pens, you've got paper, you've got some little flashcards that you've prepared earlier. Make sure that's all there. Make a checklist. So what do you want to study that night? Use resources from teachers. Make yourself a little checklist so you know exactly what it is that you're revising, so you don't spend time trying to find stuff to revise from. And turn off social media. You don't need the distraction. It's too easy to pick up your phone and look at the message that your friend has just sent, even if you've got your phone on silent. So maybe give it to somebody else to help you stay focused. So here's my subjects. I've done a little one that's just sort of for me. So in my imaginary exam, all right, I'm going to look at, these are my exams for this week. So I've got Spanish, RE, history, maths, citizenship. I've got maths paper 2, I've got English and geography. So if you're lower school, you actually might have these in actual periods, as I've put on some of there. All right, they'll be in lesson time. However, if you're upper school, the chances are these are going to be held either in your classroom, or obviously if it comes to GCSE exams, they're going to actually be held in the hall, in exam conditions, on your own desk, separate from everybody else. I've also put here a little timetable, a little table of what my strengths are and what my weaknesses are. So these are my strengths, and not necessarily in order, but you could put them in order if you wanted to. And these are my weaknesses. Or this doesn't mean necessarily that they're subjects that I dislike. They may actually be subjects that I like, but actually I find them quite difficult to do. So maths really is the most difficult subject that I've got on my list. I always found maths really difficult at school, although I enjoyed it, particularly when I managed to understand it. I found it very difficult. So this is something I need to take into account when planning my timetable. So according to my list, which was my weakest subject? So I put on my list, if you remember, maths was my weakest subject. So that's something I need to keep in my mind. What my first exams were. So one of my first exams was Spanish. So is that going to affect my timetable? So which subject should I choose first? Because I've got 2 there. So this is what I chose to do. So this is my timetable, and I've done it based on my son's timetable and the evening activities that he has, just to sort of put it into some perspective. So I've changed my school day from the template that I put on before, because I know that he'll get home by 3:30. So there is school times. So 8 in the morning till 3:30 at night. Then I'm going to put in there, I know full well that he won't do anything the moment he gets home. All he wants to do is either go and have some time with friends, go out, play some sport, or maybe do some time on other things. So I know at 5 o'clock I'm going to get him focused. So we're going to look at maths. So I've said that obviously we said maths was the most difficult subject. So therefore, maths I'm going to put on as my first revision session. 1, it helps me to focus because I'm going to get there first. 2, my second subject is Spanish. So if you remember, maths was one of my most difficult subjects. Spanish was a difficult subject, but it's also my first exam. So I've put that on there. And then in the evening, at the moment, with it being COVID, we're having Zoom training sessions for sports that he would normally do in the evening. So there, I've put them there at 7 o'clock. So we have dinner just after that. So we're not going to do any revision after that because it wouldn't be productive. Wednesday's slightly different. No extracurricular type things on Wednesday. So we have dinner a little bit earlier. So he's going to do his revision at 7. So he's going to do one session before, one session after. So that should take him at 7 o'clock till about 8 o'clock. And then obviously he's got some social time after that. All right. And other than that, I tried to list in. Now, my timetable what allows me to revise everything in 1 week. So I'm going to have to swap things around. But if you notice, I have put an extra math session on there because obviously I need that extra time. I need to do more maths because I'm going to find that the hardest. Sunday, I don't want to be doing too much revision at the weekend. So I've just done myself some quick, I'm just going to go read some flashcards dead quickly for every subject that I've done to consolidate that learning. And I'm going to do some little 10 questions quizzes for myself to have a look through and test myself on a couple of subjects. So I might not do the full time that I've spent in the beginning of the week towards the end of the week because I need also to give my brain a bit of a rest to keep myself engaged. So this is the next week. So I've changed it slightly. You can see there the reds are subjects I've changed from the previous week. So I've changed PE and dramas, that's music, and RE I've swapped with. Again, PE was one of my best subjects, my strengths. So therefore, I've started the revision for that a little bit later. Everything else I've kept the same to make it nice and easy for me. Week 3, I've changed again. So I've taken PE off. I'm still revising my PE. I'm still going to do it in my flashcard test and on Sundays my 10 question test. But I'm not going to give myself a full session on that. All right. And I'm going to put music. So again, like I said, you won't have this many subjects if you're at Key Stage 4. So actually, you might be able to revise everything within the week. The timetable that I've done is available. Obviously, you can pause this video at any time to have a look at one I've done to help you out with yours, or the PowerPoint is on the website as well to have a look at. All right, so this is the final week. You can see again, I've changed again. So it's just to show you the differences of how we can keep swapping that revision, but I've kept the majority the same. So it's easy for me. It's repetition of things. And finally, particularly at Key Stage 4, all right, but there is quite a lot of stuff on Key Stage 3 also. When we get to Key Stage 4, we might need a few more websites to help focus our attention. So I said BiteSize is a really good one, lots of revision advice, lots of revision tips on there, really easy to use. The Student Room is a great one, particularly if you've got questions. It's excellent if you want to, you can message a question in and someone who's in that same situation as you or has been will answer that question really honestly. GCSE Pod, obviously lots of resources on there to help you with your revision and information. And Success at School is another website that's really, really good. Lots of tips on how to revise, when to revise, and other useful websites that you can get on from there. So finally, we need to just try our best in our exams, try and stick to our timetable. And ultimately, if you can stick to that timetable, you can use it to really help focus your attention. If you need any help, you ask any of your teachers, your form tutors, or basically any member of staff in school. They will all help you out. Thank you for listening, guys. You need to look at the appropriate area on the website. All resources for every Key Stage revision are on there to help you out. Thanks very much.